Gobble, gobble. Thanksgiving is here. It's a beautiful holiday with all the food and family and just good times and good memories as well. And that's why I'm here. This is Retro Recon. And I'm back. I know it's been a few weeks since I've done one of these podcasts. I know my vast audience is really missed me being here. No, I know. But this is not a paid gig for me. So, I have a job that I have a couple of jobs actually that I have to do to, make some money in this world. So, this is more of a fun side gig for me because I enjoy doing it and talking about, history and, memories, Gen X kind of stuff. I mean, whatever. But today I thought, hey, I'm on Thanksgiving break. We could do a little podcast. We could talk about Thanksgiving, especially, and some memories from Thanksgiving, because I know everyone has them. I mean, right? I mean, Thanksgiving, you've got your family coming over. I mean, what is Thanksgiving without, maybe a family disagreement, a little bit of, back and forth, and, you got little dogs fighting beside you. So you got family fighting, you got dogs fighting, you got food everywhere. It's just a good old time, right? So that's what we're going to talk about today. Is Thanksgiving memories, and some of the things that maybe you might remember. I don't know, one of those things. So anyway, let's get right into it. I was thinking about Thanksgiving the other day, and I was brought back to a time in my life where I actually remember most of the family, coming over to the house, right? I mean, so this was huge because today it is uh, it's sad because a lot of those people are no longer with us. They have went on to a better place. But at one time, we had all those loved ones were still here, and they would come over, and we would eat, and just it was it was just one of those things that sticks with you. Memories. It's in the old memory banks. So anyway, there was one Thanksgiving that I'm specifically thinking of, and this was in the, I don't know, early '80s, maybe. I would assume. And we were having Thanksgiving, and that particular year we had a camera. Of course, you always took pictures, right? You didn't have phones or anything like that. There was no smartphones, or even, this was before at least we camcorders or any of that stuff, because there actually is some VHS tape of some of those things, but this was before that. But we had a camera that we were going to take pictures of just the events that would go on that day. So I got to control the camera. Now, this is one of those cameras that had like the like string of flashes. You know what I'm talking about? It had like several. You did poof, and you had the flash, and it wasn't a Polaroid. Polaroids were, you take one and there you go. You had that. You had those, but this was one you had to get the film developed later, right? Which I know some of you young folks don't know anything about getting film developed, but this was a camera that had like the roll of flashes on the top, or it went straight up in the air like that, and you had to flash, 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 and you had to keep replacing. You had to have these flashes. So anyway, so I got to take pictures of the events. So I decided I was going to be like, I catch people as they came in the house. So they would come in, and we lived on kind of a hill. So it'd come up this huge driveway, which this driveway that we used to live on was insane. I mean, my daddy, rest his soul, bought this lot. I mean, early on, and it was it was not a flat lot by any stretch of the imagination. And the front yard was heck to cut. This thing, I mean, it was something. And the driveway was like straight down, so people would park on the driveway, and a lot of people had trouble backing out of it. We had some very interesting incidents over the years. um, well, I'll tell one since I'm on this. My brother, who is also no longer with us, he came home one night, and let's say he could have been potentially, had some adult beverages, maybe. I don't know. Anyway, but so he pulls up into the driveway and he gets out, and he used to have it's kind of like an apartment thing in the basement. And he was driving it was a Datsun, an old Datsun little car, stick shift. And he didn't put the thing in gear, didn't put on the emergency brake, and he pulled up and got out and went in the house. Well, of course, the car rolled down the hill, this huge driveway, and just crashed into the woods, right? And he said later that he thought he heard some like a really, loud noise when he, got out of the car because it had rolled back down and. So, but anyway, they found the car out in the woods the next morning, and it had to fish it out. They had to get a wrecker to fish the thing out. And it would be like this isolated incident, you would think. But there was another one just like it, similarly. He was coming in after a late night, and same car, and decided that he was going to back up the driveway. So he put the thing in reverse, and he run right through my daddy's fence and tore up the yard and all kind of stuff. And anyway, so this is a really big driveway, and everybody is coming into our house for Thanksgiving. Yay! So I'm taking pictures. Of, and I'll never forget, because this is I had my grandmother and two aunts that were all named after flowers. Okay, so there was Violet, Josephine, and Lily Mae. Right. So they were the getting these three together. The three sisters was just, I mean, it was a good time. So I remember taking pictures of them as they came in, right, and surprising them. Hey, picture. So the reason that this is significant to me is because I have this awesome memory when I was a very young man. And gosh, I was just a kid. And my mother and Violet, Josephine, and Lily Mae were all going to see. And this is a little sketchy about the memory of who we were going to see, but we were going to see another family member. It could have even been another sister. I'm not 100% sure. Anyway, so we're going to see someone who was in a home, an old folks' home, I believe, basically is what it boils down to. So we were on this long drive to go to this place. It seemed like a long drive, at least. So the car that my grandmother, Granny, Violet, was driving had a CB radio in it. So she got on the CB radio and started talking to the truck drivers and different things. And as we were driving down the road, they were going back and forth with these truck drivers and just having a good old time, right? And I was in the back seat, and they're all laughing and carrying on, and they're cutting up with these these truck drivers. And anyway, her handle was Go Go Lil, because Lily Mae was sitting in the passenger seat. Josephine was in the back. Josephine was doing most of the talking. And so they were going back and forth. And one of the truck drivers said something about, Go Go Lil, you must be a dancer or this, that, and the other, and blah, blah, blah. And anyway, so at one point, one of the drivers was right next to us and said, throw your leg out the window. And sure enough, Lily Mae throw a leg right out the window, right? And it was like the funniest thing you would ever come across. It was it was really cool. Those were one of those memories that kind of stick with you. But anyway, so they were all coming to the house that day, and I got pictures, and I will never forget. I mean, it is, you just got to think about it. I mean, there's leaves falling. It's a little bit of a chill in the air, and you got all your family coming over, and it's just like this. I mean, it is really a special moment. It's one of those things that you just don't forget. Family is really the name of the game when it comes to Thanksgiving. But also, there's something else is pretty important, and that's food. Food is a big deal, right? So now, most people have their ideas about how what you should eat, or at least what's best for Thanksgiving. And there's traditionally, you got to have dressing, right? Now, don't say. I've had this argument before with people. Stuffing, I'm not. All right, I'm a dressing guy, right? Now I think stuffing is something they say you put in the bird and you sort of eat with the bird. Dressing is kind of a meal all to itself, I guess. I don't know, but I will say that there is nothing that beats dressing in this entire. I mean, dressing is a delicacy. It is amazing. Cornbread dressing is the greatest thing I mean, I don't know. I mean, if you're going to rank foods even in your lifetime, I mean, it's hard to, I like personally. All right, so I know turkey is a big deal. Deep fried turkey is awesome. I did try it once, and I will just say that the ice crystals that are on the side of a bird, if you have it frozen, bad idea to put in oil. It doesn't. Uh, yeah, oil and water, the thing, just doesn't, and it will get you. It'll get you. Got to be careful with that. But anyway, so turkey's great and all, and I understand why people, I mean, it's traditional. Personally, I'm a chicken guy. I like chicken. So if you can get chicken and dressing together, good Lord, throw some gravy, because gravy in the South is a vegetable. No doubt about it. It should be considered a vegetable and just laid out there as a vegetable because it is. It's a vegetable, right? I mean, it's close enough anyway to me, right? So, chicken, dressing, throw some turkey. I don't care. Turkey and you can even do one of them. What are they? Turduckens, which is the turkey and the duck, and you put them all together and throw a chicken in. I don't care. Anyway, you could throw just about anything on a plate with dressing and it'd be good. No doubt. We even used to do back in the day ham dressing. I don't know if anybody remembers that or we were just, I don't know, but we used to do ham dressing. I mean, throw some swine in there on the dressing. Shoot, throw down. So that's also, with food, you've got your dressing, you got your turkey, you got your gravy, there's your vegetable, right? Macaroni and cheese. And this is special macaroni and cheese. This ain't just out the box stuff. This is like, they got this bubbling and you got the cheese on top and it's just, oh my gosh, this stuff is, I mean, almost should be illegal. It's so good. And then, of course, we used to do, everybody does deviled eggs. I mean, you can eat the heck out of them deviled eggs too. Those things is like, it's like competition how many eggs you can eat. Now, you got to be careful with those because you eat too many of them and, they could cause some gastrointestinal distress. So you got to be careful, but really good with the deviled eggs. And we used to stuff celery and you had the celery and then you could put the, like this cream cheese with like pecans. And I don't know what all else is in there. I don't know. It's good. Maybe pickle juice or something. I don't know. Anyway, it was good. Stuffed celery had that. And speaking of pecans, pecan pie is an amazing thing. Now, again, let's say that word one more time. Pecan. Pecan. Say it with me. Pecan. That's how you say it. Pecan. It don't give me none of this pecan garbage, right? That ain't it. It's pecan. Pecan. Pecan pie. Amazing thing. Get you some pecan pie. And oh gosh, that middle part, I don't know what that is, that middle part, but oh man, that is, I mean, you could just like take the pecans off the top and just eat that middle part. Put some whipped cream on there. Whew, Lord, that's what I'm talking about. Good stuff. Pecan pie, amazing, really good stuff. Absolutely love it. That is a staple. Pumpkin pie, also good. Pumpkin pie, yeah, I can do pumpkin pie. Any kind of cake. I've never met a cake I did not like. Thanksgiving, mashed potatoes. Oh goodness. All right, so mashed potatoes, gravy, of course. That's the vegetable gravy with the mashed potatoes. Throw in some dressing. Whoo, Lord. I mean, you're talking about some amazing just spread across, right? Green bean casserole is another one people will point to as being a staple. Now, I remember we didn't, we may have had green bean casserole, but I didn't really go for the green bean casserole. There used to be like a squash casserole or something that used to be good. My wife makes a great baked corn, which is, pretty awesome. So I think that, and my wife is from Wisconsin, so that's when I think this is right. Where I really first was introduced to some of the like green bean casserole type things, because I don't remember us doing that. If we did, I just didn't like it and didn't eat it. But later on, I learned to appreciate a good green bean casserole because you get wiser with age, so you tend to enjoy things a little bit better. So, or try different type foods when it comes to Thanksgiving. But yeah, no, there are so many different things that you can look at as being like, food brings back nostalgia. So when you eat something along those lines, it's really uh, pretty awesome. But I remember so well. I mean, Thanksgiving it's that time of year where you're getting close to Christmas. When you were a kid, you were in school and you got a little bit of time off. Now it's different now than it was way back when I was in school, because we got 2 days. We got Thursday and Friday off, which was huge at the time because, I mean, Thursday and Friday off in November, it was a great time. It kind of set you up for what's coming, because Christmas vacation was coming soon, and that was 2 weeks. 2 long weeks. Now I know today kids get off like a week for Thanksgiving and I don't know, like a month for Christmas or something crazy. I mean, it's a lot of time they get off of school. But back then it was, you got 2 days. You went to school Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. You got off Thursday, Friday. And, Thursday you were ready to go. Yeah. It was like, this was a perfect setup. Thursday morning, you wake up, you got to watch the Macy's parade. This was huge. I mean, they had the floats and the things and all the stuff. It was so cool, and the memories were so great. I can't even put into words how important it was to get up to watch that Macy's Thanksgiving Day parade. It was awesome, and I enjoyed it. A lot of fun, great memories. I still, to this day, I will turn it on. It's a little bit different. It seems like, I don't know. It's not as I don't know. I mean, everything gets different as you get older, but it's not as, back then it was like this special thing, and I mean, maybe we had less channels too, so there's less to watch. But you had to watch the Macy's parade, and then you got ready for people to come over, and either you had, some people would have like a 11 a.m. type, 12 a.m., like a lunch type Thanksgiving meal. Other people had it at night. And if you had like different families, you could have it twice. So if you were at one family Thanksgiving, you had like at lunch, another one you had at night, and you could eat twice. You're just eating all day long. I mean, it's constant eating. And then you got all the leftovers and so much really good stuff. It is a great holiday. I rank Thanksgiving up there pretty high because of the eating, right? And the family. It's as life is, the older you get, the less of those loved ones that you remember from these holidays that are still around. So, it's sort of sad in a lot of ways, because you don't see them, but you remember, right? You remember, you have the memories. They never go away. It's like taking those pictures when everybody came up. I mean, they're still around. I think we have them put up somewhere where people were coming into the house, and you just remember that. And they were, the whole trip, and the, go Lil and all that stuff. I mean, it brings those things flooding back when you start thinking about these things. But yeah, I would say top notch Thanksgiving's up there. Christmas, it's hard to beat Christmas. And that's the next one, because there's magic when it comes to Christmas. It's, as far as holidays go, there is a ton of magic, and that's next. That's going to be it's always just, you get a certain special feeling about Christmas because of what it means, and the memories and what I do. And of course, now I'm kind of I'm a history guy, so I love this kind of stuff, and I'm a nut for nostalgia. So I will go on YouTube and look up old Christmas commercials. And these things, I will tell you, if you want to be like transported back to a certain point in your life, go on YouTube, look up Christmas commercials from like the 70s or whenever, and you'll start seeing oh gosh, these things, they'll take you right back, and you just remember this stuff. And yeah, yeah, pretty cool. Now, another thing that will bring you right back is like the Charlie Brown specials. Do you remember? Now I remember this very well because a lot of when you started seeing the Charlie Brown special, you knew it was getting close. You knew you were about to get out of school, or you were getting ready for Thanksgiving, and all these good things were going to happen. And then same thing with Christmas, because you got the Charlie Brown Christmas. You got those claymation deals with like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, and I don't know if that was clay or not, but you know the ones I'm talking about, with the Santa Claus is coming to town. The Island of Misfit Toys and all those things. Those were always brings those memories right back to you. So those were really, really, really some good times. But Thanksgiving, maybe not historically the greatest, because all right, so I won't go into the history because I don't want to bore you here at the end of this little episode. But historically we tend to put it a certain way, and maybe it wasn't exactly like that, but that's with, how things go a lot of times. I mean, when you're looking at um, the history that happened, and then what it means, and then kind of uh, what we try to portray it as sometimes. But the bottom line with it is you get to come together with your family and get to eat a lot of great food. I mean, really load up. And then you can take a big nap. You can watch football on TV, right? Now, I will share, since this also is now, if you're in if you live in a certain uh, part of the country, Thanksgiving week also brings on the Iron Bowl, right? They called it the Iron Bowl because after it was over, they had all scraps of iron were laying around the field, or the Birmingham, where it used to be played most of the time back when it was a 50-50 ticket split. Alabama on one side, Auburn on the other. You had Crimson on one side and Orange on the other. 50-50. Oh man, those were the days. And it was in Birmingham, and Birmingham was famous for Steel City, iron, the whole thing, Iron Bowl. Anyway, so it happens normally right around Thanksgiving. It has been played on Thanksgiving before, but normally it's the Saturday after. Sometimes it's the Friday. It just depends. But normally, in recent years, it's been the Saturday. I will share a story. Now, I am an Alabama guy. Roll Tide. That's just me, right? And I don't, I'm not trying to make any talk any trash or make any I have no idea, because if you go to Jordan Hare Stadium, it is a tough place to play. Right, and strange things tend to happen down there. So who knows, you as they say, it's an old cliche, you can throw the record books out the window, let them play. Who knows who's going to win? I don't. It's one of those things that it is you just don't know. But one year we went to Orange Beach, Alabama for Thanksgiving, right? And it was an awesome trip. It was a great trip. Went to Orange Beach. We ended up having it was a kind of a unique Thanksgiving, because we didn't do the normal type stuff. We went and bought some like shrimp, I think, those great royal reds, or those big ones. So we had shrimp. We had some different like appetizer type things. It was a lot of fun. It was a really good time to spend Thanksgiving at the beach. I mean, it really was. However, that was the same year that, and some of you may remember this. There's this little game that involved the kick six. I remember that. Yeah. Well, we were at the beach watching that game, and boy, I'll tell you, for an Alabama fan, somebody who roots for the Crimson Tide, that was a nightmare situation. But anyway, yeah, that was when I think of Thanksgiving sometimes, or and it kind of makes me think twice about going to the beach, because a couple things happened. I went down. We played the lottery, because you can go across the Florida line, because Alabama, we don't have a lottery in Alabama, because it's I don't know. I don't know. I don't know why we don't. They should. I don't know. I mean, it is what it is. They don't have one. I mean, but anyway, so a lot of people go to Florida, Georgia, wherever they can to play. So we went down and I played the lottery. So I thought, all right, I played the lottery, So I lost the lottery and Alabama lost on the kick six. And it was just this whole, wow. But Thanksgiving was fun. That was a really good time. I enjoyed that day. Anyway, so Thanksgiving brings back a lot of memories, and there's a lot of people that come into your life, and then you have those memories with you forever. So you don't lose them. They're always there. So I just thought I'd come on here today and do a little nostalgic journey about, Thanksgiving and the good times that we all have. So I hope that I don't know that anything like rung a bell with your thing, but I enjoyed talking about it. So maybe it was a little bit humorous, but if not, you can always complain to the management. So I hope everybody has a extremely happy Thanksgiving. Extremely happy Thanksgiving, is that a thing? Anyway, a very happy Thanksgiving. Enjoy the food. Eat some dressing and get you some good load up on vegetables, the gravy, get it, and corn is another. I didn't mention corn. That should be on there, I guess. Anyway, have fun, enjoy, and because it's Iron Bowl week, I'll give you a good roll tide.